Okay, so you started. You just went after it on bikes.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
That was 6 years ago, maybe almost 7. Um, yeah, after that, the thing with me, when I'm done with something, I want to outdo myself. And it's like, at that level, it's like really hard to keep coming up with new ideas, you know what I mean? Like, like as a builder, as a bike builder, you know, they come up with a design and then it does well, and they keep the same design because they want to milk it. They want to see what they can make out of it. To me, I'm not in it for the money. Really, I'm not. I mean, I'm all about art and creativity. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I try to stick to that. And like most builders out, they come up with a design for a motorcycle, and then and the people, they see the reaction from people and they go with it, you know. And to me, every time I build a bike, I have to outdo myself. I have to come up with new ideas. And at that level, it's really hard to keep coming up with new ideas. So that comes from, I didn't realize I had it in me, but my whole family is very artistic. My dad was an artist, my sister is. And I was like, no, I was all into the trouble stuff, you know? And I didn't realize till like 6 years ago that I had it in me. And now it's all coming out, man. It's an unbelievable feeling.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels great. Because you kind of like switch your bad energy to a good energy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, okay, so you're not really cutting hair anymore.
I do cut my friends' hair.
But just not for a living.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
You're not selling the bikes.
I'm not selling the bikes. I cannot. I mean, it takes me a year to build 1 or 2 bikes. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so hard. I mean, I build a relationship with that bike, and it's so hard for me to let go at the end. Yes, I would like to sell people bikes, but first of all, these bikes are so extreme. They're not really comfortable. I'm the one I'll be the first to admit that. They're not comfortable, and I wouldn't want to ride them a long way. But I've ridden all of them, so they're all rideable. People always ask me, they're so beautiful, but do they even run? I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Yes, of course. So I have to start bike for them and all that. They're like, wow, I didn't know it runs. I'm like, yes. Yeah, they're not comfortable. They're not, you know, they're not something you want to take for a cruise, like a long, you know, this is like a bar hopper bike. So if I would like to eventually build bikes for people. And once I do that, I would like to build 2, because when I build a bike, like I said, I get so attached to it that I'm gonna build 2 at the same time. So whenever I sell one to someone, I want someone for me.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I want one for me.
yeah, you keep one of them,
yes,
and let the other one go.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at is you're not making any money cutting hair. You're not making any money with these bikes. How are you going to support yourself?
Well, when my parents died, they left me a little bit of money, and they put it in a savings in Lebanon where I can live off of, and that's what I live off of every day. I mean, if I tell you what I live off, you would laugh. You would laugh. I don't know how I make it. I don't know how I make it. People are like, tell me all the time, how do you afford all this? I don't know. I'm so blessed. I am so blessed with people, friends, that want to help me. They believe in me. They want to help me. I can't even tell you all these things that people do for me. And I mean, they don't have to do them. You know what I mean? I'm so blessed that way. I mean, I don't want to say the amount on TV. It's not cool, but I don't live on much. And I still rent. You know, I don't own anything. So, like that place I live in next door, I still rent.
Mm-hmm. And this place just comes with it?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you afford the engines, the parts, the things that go into these bikes?
For some reason, I figured out a way to do this. Like most builders, they got money, you know, they can just go buy an engine, S&S engine or Baker transmission, all that. That costs money, man. That's like that between motor and training, we're looking at $9,000. You know what I mean? So I figured out a way. I look online. I go to junkyards. I always find wrecked motorcycles, but they have low mile engines, and the engine is not damaged, so they have cosmetic damage. So what I do, I buy them, and I keep the motor and the transmission, and I sell the rest of the bikes, and I end up with more money. I sell the rest of the bike more than I paid for the whole bike, and I keep the motor in training. It works out perfect. Like, I try to explain that to you, like, whoa, that's how you do it. And like, I have a lot of guys like Westbrook, they sponsor my medal. Austin Bolt, you know, all the hardware that I need. I mean, like I told you, I'm so blessed with friends and sponsors.
You said engine and trainee?
Transmissions.
But what's the short word?
Trainees.
How do you spell that?
T-R-A-N-N-Y.
Trainee.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you got it working here. I
mean, I have a way of doing it at low cost.
So let's follow your reasoning through to the end. Let's say over the next few years you build 20 bikes for people, and you keep 20 versions of that. You know, maybe you get to stay in this rental property forever. Maybe you don't. You get my point. You're going to wind up with a shitload of bikes, and what are you going to do with
I see where you're going with that. Eventually, I would like to, I'm already thinking about that. I would like to have a museum where I display the bikes where people can go in and enjoy them. It's like a little destination museum out in somewhere where bikers travel through that road and they see that place and they walk. It's like a pit stop, and they can enjoy that. I can have maybe like coffee shop next door. That's my ideal idea eventually.
Like out in the hill country around Lukenbach, where all these bikers go on their tours.
Yes. That's what I'd like to do someday.
Yeah, I think that would work.
I'm already thinking about it. I just need the funds.
How are you going to get funds? Sell those bikes?
Friends.
Yeah. Investors?
Yeah.
Now, and I read in that article something about movies or
Oh, when you look at these bikes, and you will, seems like the first thing that people say, Batman or Mad Max. And that's my goal. I want these bikes to be in movies. They fit so good in movies like that, I think. Industrial, tough, mean, you know?
Sleek.
I'm hoping for that. We'll see what happens.
So, speaking of what happens when you take one of these things out?
Well, let's see. Every time I take the chain bike out, which I do a lot, I get pulled over by cops. I'm not counting the people that like almost reckon looking at me with the thing on my back. And they're so kind, that the cops, that they're like, I'm like, what did I do? He goes, nothing, but what is that thing on your back? I'm like, it's the gas tank. He goes, what? You're wearing the gas tank? I said, yes, I'm crazy enough to do that. I can honestly say, I'm crazy enough to wear the gas tank. I'm the only one in the world that actually wear the gas tank. And I get so much heat about that from people. You crazy, you this? Yes. I mean, why not? What's the difference between a gas tank between your legs and the gas tank on my back? I can actually get rid of it real quick. You know? Same thing.
So you're saying this is a safety measure?
Well, it's a safety measure, and it's also a theft measure. Like when I go away from the bike, nobody's taking my bike, and I can take my seat off too.